Yes.
That's great.
And listen, I'm going to do the rest of the housekeeping here and mute everyone. So you'll have to unmute yourself here. Let's see. Okay.
Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. Good to see so many of you on tonight. I know there's a lot of calls going on right now, and you know, it's hard to book them all, isn't it? We get it. We understand it. We've had some incredible Zoom calls recently as well that have just been incredibly impactful. And there's so much going on right now in our personal business, in y'all's business, and in the company as a whole. And there are 20 baseball boys walking by the car. So let's hope that they don't do something crazy. I am on mom duty, so I'm in the car and I'm gonna walk into a baseball sort of intro banquet that starts the baseball season this week. And Mark is in South Africa in the middle of doing a master's program. So it is a bit crazy. You may not have heard from me this week as much as normal on our team live stream message, but we've had some leaders who really stepped up. Thank you all to the leaders, especially Debbie. I tell you, you have really stepped up this week and getting messages out, and I'm so grateful for that. We all need each other to make this thing happen. So guys, we have Master Pro 10, Marcell Niederhauser, on with us tonight, and I want to just introduce him and tell you a little bit about why we love Marcell, why we appreciate Marcell, and really what has been the thing that has kept us so motivated when it comes from Marcell's heart and Lisa, their whole family. But when we first got into LifeVantage, Marcell and Lisa were some of the first that we ever saw on the stage. And there was this undying commitment to make sure that the people that were coming into LifeVantage truly, truly understood how to build. And they understood how to build for long-term leveraged income. And so this is his heart. His heart is to help build leaders, to raise leaders, and to help them build at the beginning that actually makes an impact for long term. And so he's going to talk, well, I don't know what all he's going to talk about tonight. We just said, you can talk about whatever. And I said, I did tell him though, that I'm really pushing, and I hope you guys are connecting with the wonder of the MVP. We made bronze this month. I don't know if any of you guys did, but if you did, raise your hand, say something, put it in the chat group. Good, Renee did. I'm trying to see hands. But anyway, guys, don't miss the opportunity to make some extra cash, but not just making extra cash for MVP bonus, right? It's about building, and it's about building your teams. And once you learn how to build the MVP, you're literally building a team. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So Marcell, we're so thrilled to have you. We feel so blessed by you, your commitment to us, your love for us, for our team, training us, being committed to the industry, and training up couples and singles and whoever, moms, dads, whoever, grandparents, whoever wants to build this. We're super, super grateful. Know that we love you, and we're going to give the rest of the time to you tonight. You'll have to unmute yourself though.
Somebody muted me back up. I did unmute. Okay, I need to be given host too, or co-host.
Oh, okay. Julie, can you do that? Julie's got the powers.
Julie has got the power. Well, thank you for all of that sweet kind words you said about me and Lisa. Now, if I could just get you to believe it. No, I'm just kidding. What do I owe you for that is what my question is, because I do love you guys, and Mark and Krista are very dear to our hearts, as a lot of you are too. But we've been in this thing kind of from the beginning, and so that means a lot to me too, because you know, when you start these things, and I will demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about when I say this in just a second. But when you start these things, unfortunately, the people you start with don't go the full bout with you. Some of them get distracted, they get discouraged. And I guess what I want you guys to understand is it doesn't matter what somebody else does or doesn't do. If you want this, you can do it, and you can build it so it's structured in such a way that you'll never worry about your check going away, going backwards, or whatever might concern you. Do you guys follow those words? This is yes, this is no. Okay. Because you guys, this business is not hard. It's just very frustrating because we all have to change and become the person that other people want to follow. So in reality, we need to become a leader, and leaders create followers, right? You guys agree with that? And so I love the MVP bonus. It's not just about the extra money, although the extra money will be good, and along with what you're already being paid, but it's actually the foundation that I built my business on. Now, it wasn't structured like that. It was, but it wasn't. I didn't go out and deliberately build it the way that I'm going to show you, but I did. But because of urgency, we didn't wait for others. We sponsored 5 or 6 until we found what we wanted. But when we were helping them, we hurry up and found the others and didn't wait longer, and we still did good. Does that make sense? We still qualify every month on the first day, and things are still the same. But anyway, if I just rattle on and on, we won't have time to do this. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, how many of you guys have seen this? How many were on the premier call or the elite call? A few. All right. Well, I'm going to go through it again. And here's what I want you to understand. If you can get good at going bronze, the first one, you're going to do it yourself. And this is what it looks like when the computer calculates to see if you qualified bronze. But let me show you what the work looks like. This is what it looks like when it's all done. They ignore all the others, even though I didn't get a chance to say this on the other call. But when you look at all these circles, most of those people are going to be on a $200 auto ship too. And so if that's the case, if somebody does stop, you're still qualified because it'll look for another qualified 200 for bronze. In order to go on to silver, the matrix has to be built under the person. Does that make sense? So, but I got to move this over. Here's what the work looks like. You're going to enroll as many people as you absolutely have to find 3 that want to do it right now. I know you can't answer my questions, but I'm going to ask them anyway. Just answer them inside of your head. Have any of you sponsored 2 or 3 people and then sit around for the next decade waiting for them to do something? Okay, we all make that mistake, especially when we first get started. I did it in the very beginning of my career. I was told if I sponsor 6, I could go diamond. And I sponsored 6, and after I begged them all in, months went by, nobody did anything, and I had to come apart. And then I ruined every one of those relationships because they weren't doing anything. But I asked them why aren't you doing anything? And they told me, because you told me you'd do it for me. Now I forgot about that because all I was thinking about is sponsoring 6. Does that make sense? So anyway, I learned this the hard way. It took me 12 years to figure out how to fine tune this industry and how I could build it without waiting for others. So you will be doing meetings. We talk about our 15 presentations a month. Everything that I've ever taught you completely fits exactly what I'm teaching you. Everything you've ever been taught, you apply to this philosophy and you build your business. But what's awesome is the only thing you need to focus on, you guys, is building bronze and helping other people. So I also call this stay in control of your business. Everybody's on a $200 PV subscription. I know that there's stories. That's what I teach everybody. I actually allow them to decide what they want to do after I draw it all out. But I'm very convincing because I use common sense when I'm talking to people, and I tell them what's best for them. And teaching people to sign up as a business and run it as a business, you have less work later going back and teaching people after you've already taught them the wrong way. So my point in saying this, highly emphasize what's best for them and then actually let them decide what they want to do. You guys good with that? Somebody wants to come in at 100 PV or subscription, I let them. But I have totally emphasized why 200 is way better. And you guys, when you're trying to go Pro 5, if everybody's on $100 per subscription order, for you to go Pro 5, you got to do twice the amount of work that you would if you teach everybody to do a $200 subscription. Does that make sense? All right. In this scenario, I showed you, you got to enroll 9 to find 3. Depending on where you're at and what your confidence level is as you get into this industry, or now that you're getting started, will determine how many people you actually need to sign up. And if you're working with an upline that's active, then they probably have a little bit more confidence than you do, and they're willing to help. That'll help speed up that process. Can you guys see my cursor going back and forth? That'll speed up this process. And it's like magic. And once you start, you don't stop. And the worst thing that you never do is you don't go into management mode. When you become an expert on going bronze and helping other people go bronze, you don't stop until you're at the rank that you want to be at. Okay. Now, I'm not, hold on, I lost it. All right. So that's what bronze look like. I have some extra stuff in there we don't need to go over, but when you complete a bronze once, can you do it again? Put a 1 in the chat. That's the only thing I can see, because I can only see 4 of you at one time. So if you can do it once, you can do it twice. It increases confidence. Here's what silver looks like. And again, all it is just you went bronze and then you help this guy go bronze and this guy and this guy. The work looks the same. But what I want to emphasize here, normally these guys are brand new. They don't know what you know. They're not as confident as you are. You know, I could go on and on. What if you went and helped them do this? Help them talk to every single one of these people until they found 3, and did this same thing down here, help them sponsor enough people to find their 3. And you did the meeting and the follow-up in every one of those meetings, and you made sure it got done. Okay. Now they went bronze, right? By helping 3 other people, they go bronze. But what happens to you? You go silver. And the reason why I want to emphasize that is because when you work in this level here and in this level here of 9, so you're going to work with 12 people, you're going to do your 15 presentations every single month. You're going to make sure that every meeting's done, every follow-up's done, and then I'll show you what the magic of that is. Okay, so now I look at this right here. This is a bronze, and then each one of these are bronzes. Okay, I have worked with these 3 and with these 9. That means I've got 27 people on the bottom level, and there's 9 in each one of these single matrices. Is that fair to say? Each one of these silver matrices. I'm going to go down underneath and I'm going to find one person here. I'm not going to help all 3. I'm just going to find 1. So 1 out of 9. So up here, I had to find 9 myself. Now I'm using other people's people to find 9. And here's another food for thought. Once I get to the 3rd or 4th level, I now have credibility with my people. Have you noticed with your personals, a lot of the times is they know more than you do? And they're the reason why you're where you're at. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't even be a Pro 7 or an 8 or a 5, whatever. Have you ever heard that kind of language? I get told a lot by my personals. They tell me, we make you guys so much money. And I'm like, okay, you do a $500 auto ship. We get 2% of it. That's $10. We're killing it. Keep it up, man. That makes our house payment and our car payment at the same time, except we don't have any of those anymore. Now, maybe none of you guys hear this, but if you start to build bronzes, like I'm telling you, you will hear all of this. That's just human nature. They're fun to deal with. I love them, but I know how to get around it. And I know how to get around procrastinators, and I get around how to get around people that aren't ready yet. And that is by working until I find somebody that wants to do what I'm doing. So now I got to find one person here, and I got to find one person here, and I got to find one person there. And I'm going to show you, I'll come back to that. Let me show you why that's important. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. Now that I've spent all my time building relationships, building stability, making sure every meeting's being done, making sure everybody's on a $200 subscription order. Yeah, this takes time. But what has happened after I've did this? I have taught these people exactly what to do so that they can now go do the same thing in their other legs. And I'm going to pick one. Here's an example. In this tier one, in this my first personal, I'm gold. I've helped him go bronze, and I helped his 3 people go bronze. I'm going to pick one of these people on the bottom, and then I'm going to start to drive depth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help this guy. He's brand new. He doesn't know what he's doing. I've already taught all these guys. What do you think they're going to do with all these other 9 people? See, in order for them to qualify gold, or in order for them to go Pro 7 or Pro 8 or Pro 9, they have got to go build the rest of their business. And I spent the first 5 months teaching them exactly what they need to do. Not on a Zoom, not on a Monday night call, but I taught them by going to their house, showing them how to make contacts. Some, it was harder than others. And we went through all of this experience so that I could be sharp. So when I get down here, I can speed up the process. Now, because of this MVP bonus, I took it to another level. I picked one, but now I'm going to start over and I'm going to work with these 3. I'm going to start to build stability in my business, and I'm going to build relationships in my business. So if somebody goes goofy and joins another company, the majority of my business will stay because I now have spent time at their house. I've helped them do meetings, and I'm going to work with the same 12 people again. I'm going to start here by helping each one of those go bronze. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to make sure I do every meeting follow-up. But here's what you need to understand. When you get done with these 2 levels, this 3rd level will start to grow. These guys will start driving it down everywhere else. And the same thing. This is my business. I want to go Pro 10. I'm not waiting for Bobby Jr. over here to build his business so I can be qualified. I'm going to drive the volume. I'm going to do it in each one of these legs. So you can see it takes a long time. This is exactly what Tyler and I did in the first 3 years of our business to do $16 million a month in sales. By teaching others to do what you're doing, you are now creating a word that we can't use anymore. It rhymes with duplication and it sounds like replication. And when you do that and you spend the time to do it correctly, you guys, you have freedom. Now think about this too. I have 3 legs. Now I want you to go gold more than once, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But let's say I did gold twice and I build the same thing in all 3 of those legs. So now I've got 6 legs I'm working in, because have you noticed as I go down again, I just pick one more person on this level out of 27. I'm picking 1, and I'm going to do it again here. And when I go here, I'm going to pick 1 again. But here's what I want you to understand. When you're a Pro 8 or a Pro 9 or a Pro 10, and let's say you've gone gold twice, so this whole structure is just mirrored. So I'm working with 6 people now. I'm only going to choose 1 leg to work in. Now, when I have tens of thousands of people in my group, am I going to know every one of them? Nope. All I'm going to do to make sure that I stay in control of my business, and I am going to continue to drive new volume at the bottom of my business so that I keep it moving. And when I have tens of thousands of people in my group, I'm only going to have 1 place to work in each leg. Could you imagine if I told you you had to do every one of these meetings in every single one of these people's houses? That's a little overwhelming. But once you get gold first and you build that solid foundation, then you only have to work in 1 spot. Now, when I say 1 spot, I'm only working in 1 leg all the way down, but I'm going to train and teach. And I promise you, when you get to this level, everything will fill in backwards up here and follow. Now, not everybody's going to build it, but where you took the time to train and teach, and we went through all of these people to find those three, your chances of that staying together are way greater than they were just throwing mud on the wall and hoping something sticks. So the thing I love about the MVP bonus is it gives me a structure to follow. Now, simple question. If I can do this and go gold once, can I do that again? Put a 1 up in the chat. The one thing about network marketing is if you can do something once, you can do it over and over and over. And that is why I haven't had a job for almost 20 years, because I learned how to first go through the trial and error to figure it out, and then spend the time taking my knowledge and helping other people so they don't have to figure it out on their own, and spending all that time with them, transferring that knowledge by doing it by example, right? Now, once you do this, I don't have to go down to the bottom of these legs anymore and do anything. That thing is so far away from us, thousands of levels deep. Does that make sense? See, there is a day when everything stops, but I still have all my relationships I built along the way. It just wasn't structured like this. We did all of this, but sometimes it would skip 2 or 3 generations. But because of this knowledge, helping all of these people get involved till I find my 3, you can actually build a solid matrix. Now, the only reason why you'd want to do this is if you want a big fat residual check. I know I can't say that word, but if you want a big, nice check that comes in every month that doesn't go away and you don't file out of qualification, it's worth taking the time to do this. This is the shortcut. There's no other way to shortcut. If somebody, every single one of these businesses needs a leader. Once the leader starts, he goes through and gets all of his followers and keeps helping them and driving depth until they take the responsibility. That they don't, I don't pass the torch, they take the torch. I love this information, you guys. I just wish I could tell you how simple it is to just build bronze after bronze after bronze. Now, if you can see the vision that I'm trying to paint, put a 1 in there. If you can commit for the next, this is a 2 to 5 year build out, you guys. This doesn't happen overnight, but you can go you could go solid Pro 5 in a couple months if you were actively doing 15 or more presentations a month. But what you cannot factor in is when you've taught proper principles, behaviors by doing it, how fast the replication starts. And when that starts, it'll blow your mind. Tyler and I were growing by 20,000 people a month. And do you know what the environment looked like? Everybody was on the same page. The company was on the same page. Okay, guess what the environment looks like right now? Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's doing MVP. So now when you get all these people fired up and going in the right direction, and they go to an elite academy or a convention or an LVA or anything the company does, guess what they're hearing? The same thing I'm teaching you. The only thing that you're not going to hear from a lot of people is there's not a lot of people in this company that have figured this part out. They spend all their time up here just sponsoring and sponsoring and sponsoring and sponsoring. They don't know that they can take their talent and share it somewhere else. You guys with me? Very few people understand this. Very few people follow through with it. And I don't know why. See, I only like to do work one time, and then I like it to duplicate or replicate. I'd love for that to happen. So it's worth to take the time to do it right, so you don't ever have to come and do it again. And I'm telling you guys, I sat in a seminar a long time ago in an Amway meeting, and a guy by the name of Randy Haugen taught me this exact same concept, different structure, different philosophy, but building depth and staying you. This is you. You're going to be down here doing meetings in this guy's house. What kind of an example does that set for these hundreds of people that are in your business asking you? And then when this guy goes, hey, I need you to help me. I want you to come over here and help this guy. And you say, I can come down here. I'm doing a meeting right here. bring that guy. Remember what we did? We built a gold, we built a bronze, and then I went and built a gold here. You know how to tell him how to do it. And then when somebody says, hey, how did you do that? You can pull the structure out and say, I just built one bronze at a time until this whole thing was developed. Now, it looks like a lot, but it starts right here. And then it goes right here. And it goes right there. And it goes right there. Then you're going to help those 9. Anyway, I hope I'm not beating a dead horse. Now, I want to point this out. When you go gold, it's a total of 7,800 organizational volume. Now, I'm just counting the people that are doing 200 that are either a bronze or a silver, and then the ones that qualified them. So 27 people are doing a $200 subscription, and each one of these bronze circles are in each one of those silvers. So you got a total of 39 people doing 200. That's what this math is right there. It's 7,800 organizational volume. So every time you build a gold in depth, you're adding 78 organizational volume to your business. Okay, you guys good with that? Now, 7,800. Well, let me show you what it looks like over here. In this example, I have drawn out going gold 3 times. So this is you sponsored 9 people. You did meetings for probably 10, 15 people here, or 20 here, 20 there. I don't know what your rate's going to be. It could be 6 people to get all those. I don't know, but I want you to understand, you sponsor until you find the 3. Okay, here's what gold looks like. This is what's awesome. You look at the volume right here. When you go gold 3 times, you're a pro 5 in the company. Now, you're the one doing the meetings and the follow-ups until you get to this level. Then you're just going to pick one place to work. That's a solid pro 5 on a $200 subscription. When I'm giving you all these numbers, I'm not giving you numbers on all of this chaos. All these people that are on a $200 subscription order, all these people, whatever they're doing, I'm not doing. I didn't even put in account all of the elite packs that you're going to sign up, which is $1,000 worth of volume. You build a solid structure like that, you're probably a pro 7 or maybe even higher. But look at this. When you're pro 5, what's a pro 5 make? About $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month. What's the income disclosure say today? Type it in the chat, just one person, or all of you until I see it. Oh, I can't see it. Well, let's say it's $2,500 for a pro 5 or $3,000. You're getting an extra $4,500 on top of that, as long as these bonuses are being paid out. And do you think for a moment, if people started going triple and quadruple and 5 times gold and started building them in depth, and the company just set on fire, do you think they'd ever take it away? I hope not. I hope not. But look at this. If you go gold 5 times, it's almost $10,000 a month. Now, I rounded it up a little bit, but you're almost a pro 6 in the company just by going in width. Now, width is money, but if you look at the depth numbers, sorry, and this might be a little bit too much for some of you, but if you look at the depth numbers and start driving it in depth and going gold once and going twice and 3 times, you start to see that it compounds a little bit quicker. Now, the more width you go, obviously, but I hope that's making sense. But what this structure here looks like is I've gone gold, and out of those 9 people, I helped somebody else go gold. And that's what this diagram looks like. Where'd it go? That's what that diagram looks like, is I built 1 gold under each of those legs. And this shows you I'm at 3,100, which is a solid pro 5. If I go gold twice, I'm a solid pro 6. If I go gold 3 times, I'm a pro 7. And that's just by building one gold in depth under each one of those. So here's your business. You go gold again, or third time, and you do 1 underneath it. You're solid. Now, I would think you can work in 3 places, because you're only going to work here, here, and here. And then you're going to drive depth down. So how many of you guys can work in 3 places at a time? And if you can master that, What's the chances of working in 6 places by going gold twice? See, what I love about the MVP is there's not one person that can get into LifeVantage now and not understand what to do. Now, there are people's personalities that they'd rather, just sponsor people and wait for the leaders to show up. There's nothing wrong with that either. Marcell did not want to wait. I wanted, as soon as I could, to retire from traditional work. I owned a landscaping maintenance company. I wanted to retire as fast as I could, and I wanted to live strictly off leveraged income. That was my whole goal. And when I figured out that I don't have to wait for somebody else to catch the vision, I can actually go find them. When I realized that, my whole world changed. Now, to make $100,000 a month, you guys, do you think there's going to be a price paid? You look at, like, right now, I don't know what the average income is for doctors and so on, and those high professional. I know some of them make more than that, but look at the schooling they had to go to create that type of income. And the beautiful thing about that is, who enjoys that? Who enjoys that lifestyle? Them or just their family? Nothing wrong with it. But to come over here in this business and be able to learn simple behaviors and principles and learning to be a leader and always do what you say you're going to do and help other people. See, helping other people is not printing out the peer reviews and sending them to them or sending them a link with the ABC primetime. It's actually physically, either if you're an online person and you've mastered the ability to sponsor people, then you do the same thing that I just showed you. You go down in those legs and help those other people that want to do what you're doing, learn how to do that same thing. And if you can do that and continue going down, you will make sure that your business grows without waiting on somebody else. So I love this bonus. I love to teach. You will not hear me talk about anything else. I've always been talking about depth. I've always been talking about staying in control of your business, building vertical volume. That's my language. I don't have any time to waste talking about any other thing that I don't know anything about. Does that make sense? Like, my goal is to teach all of you how to have what I have. And now I got the company on board, and we're going to call MVP. So I'm going to share my screen 1 second. I just want you guys to see this last little thing. If I can pull it up. I was so freaking excited about this that I made a PowerPoint in 10 seconds. Okay. And ready to go. Other than I drew it all out on paper. Somebody else made the circles for me. But listen, when you hear building depth, staying control, tap rooting, building leaders, building stability, building firewire, working with what you got to tell you find. When you hear any of those words, it's just MVP bonus. That makes sense? That all means the same thing. And so we all have a chance now. We all have a chance now to grasp this whole concept of going bronze over and over and over. First by yourself. If you want to go gold twice, then you go bronze twice. You go bronze 3 times. Now, the thing I want you to understand, when you go gold and the matrix is built, you're going to get the $1,500 for every gold business you build. Any gold business in depth, the person that's gold is going to get the $1,500. You help somebody in depth, you're not going to get that. But if you go bronze once, twice, 3 times, there's the bonus. It just pays you for 1 bronze. The matrix has to be complete before you could go. Now, you saw that in the first example, you sponsored 9 to find 3. Well, if you taught them all to be on a subscription order of 200, you can also qualify for the customer, for the seller bonus. Because any combination out of those 3 legs that are qualifying you for bronze add up to $500 in volume, you'll get that seller bonus too. by default, just by building your business to go Pro 10 or seriously. Now that I can see the chat, put in the chat what rank you want to be in the next year and a half. Just start loading that chat up. I love this. You guys, I don't want to confuse anybody. Everything, all the numbers I just showed you was from a subscription order. When you start to replicate everybody building bronze and they're all coming in on elite packs, your volume is going to 4 times itself from 200 to 800, right? That means a fourth of the work with the numbers I showed you. So a lot of you are going to rank advance a lot quicker. But what I'm trying to teach you and what we're shooting for is to have it all backed up by a subscription order so that your rank is paying you the money that the income disclosure tells you people make at that rank. So it takes time to fill in the subscription orders, but you're going to rank advance faster than what I just told you because of all the volume that's going to come in from the momentum going on in your business. And the only thing that any of you need to focus on, you don't even need everything I told you, just forget. You just want to go out and go bronze. And if you've already done that, go help those people go bronze and try to be the first silver in the company. And how do you do that? You do as many meetings with every person in those first 2 levels out of the 12 people until you find the 3 to qualify them bronze. That makes sense? If you will focus on that for the next 2 to 5 years, on top of everything else you're doing, I promise you'll stop doing about 90% of what you're doing, and all of your time will be focused there because you're going to start to see the results that I've been able to see and that we've been able to enjoy. So this ain't a crash course that you're changing and stopping. You keep doing everything that you've been doing. You start adding this concept of going bronze and helping other people. I want you to focus on going gold yourself. So get that first one done. Once you've mastered that, you can start going down in depth and you can actually start going wider. Some of you that feel a little more confident and have already actually experienced that, build another gold leg, do it at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what you want. Everybody kind of put stuff down there, but it went by fast enough that, and I don't know enough of you personally to know, but what I do know, what is what you do want, I just gave you a pathway to get it. And if that doesn't relate to you, that's okay too. Figure out a way that you can build this and get what it is you want. Does that make sense? Because the one thing that you can control and I can control is doing that next meeting at the bottom of one of my legs. I can do that. I can't control the price of gas. But if gas is kicking your butt right now, all you got to do is go build a bronze somewhere and start offsetting that. Does that make sense? Like all the stuff that we can't control in the world, but money can fix, you have total control of taking care of that because you can decide if you're going to go help somebody or not. I hope this has been helpful. For me, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've been asked to speak a lot and they give me a topic and you'll hear me say, this is the dumb topic they gave me. This is what I'm going to teach you. And I always start talking about 15 presentations a month. I always talk about behaviors. There's no reason for me to talk in front of a group of people unless I'm teaching them how to do what I did. Does that make sense? And when they asked me to do those calls, I was like so excited about that.
Yeah.
Because I want you to have what we have. And that's why I'm still present. And I'm telling you, oh man, I want to say something so bad, but we get together the first and third Tuesday. And guess what we teach for 4 years? Guess what we've been teaching? MVP. We get together once a quarter in St. George. We go into in-depth training. 30 other elites teaching MVP.
Guys, this is building
Everybody
that. You
is
guys have
welcome.
heard us share this.
So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because you have all the help in the world. Now, the definition of help is you got to do your part. The knowledge, the experience, when you fall down, picking you back up, that's all in place. But if you're not doing your part, the knowledge, the experience, and picking you back up isn't doing you a very good service, because you have to go through the ups and downs so that your brain can process and you can get more confident, and that you can understand that this will be the easiest thing you've ever done in your life. You can't tell me that there's one person in this world that if you could get them down to shut up long enough and tell them about Protandim, they wouldn't want to take it. So you do got to develop skill sets on how to get somebody to listen to you that doesn't want to. And one of the things that I've used a lot is, if they're not, like if it's family or somebody I know, let me practice on you. Let me practice on you. You know how many people I've signed up by saying that? Trying to convince them because of the peer reviews or the ABC primetime video too. You can't convince somebody. But if you can learn, but if you can trick them into giving them the information, I like that better. I shouldn't use the word trick, but you got to manipulate them. You got to outsmart them, not manipulate. I didn't mean to use that word either. You got to outsmart them. Your whole goal is to be able to tell them the whole story. Have you guys heard that training lately from two guys talking about tell the whole story? You guys heard that lately from a Tyler Daniels or a Skip Campbell? Have you ever heard them say, tell the whole story? Once you tell them the whole story, then the ball's in their court for them to decide. You still might have to follow up. You still might have to apply a little bit of pressure, because most people need to be led. Most people need to be led. And one of the greatest questions you could ever ask anybody after you showed them the plan or showed them the whole story is just ask them, whose name do you want the application in? And if you can overcome that fear of being able to be that bold and say that, those people you're talking to will automatically tell you exactly where they're at in time, so you don't have to spend the next 3 months following up and trying to guess where they're at. It's okay to get a no. And if they say, no, I'm not quite ready yet, say, well, do you want me to go over it again? Do I need to show you again? You want to do that right now? Or what do you need? What can I do to help you? Because the confidence that I have is I believe everybody needs to be on Protandim. I have that confidence. I've had that ever since I got in the business. As soon as we started shipping product and the testimonies started coming in, everybody needs to be on it. So I'm not afraid to be bold. But anyway, this is supposed to be 30 minutes. We went 15 minutes longer than we supposed to. So I appreciate you guys. Krista, thank you. She told me this call was tomorrow night. No, she didn't. She gave me the right date, but I scared her today and I said, what time's the call tomorrow? But I really appreciate the time being with you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys who I see in Salt Lake. I can't wait to see who I see down in St. George. It's warm down there. It's warming up this time of the year. And jump on those Tuesday calls. It can't do nothing but help educate you on understanding everything I just said to you tonight. Because there's a lot of philosophy and a lot of little nuggets that other people will share that everybody's going to have a common, we're going to share commonly.
Marcell, thank you so much.
Hold on. You're so welcome. You're breaking up on us too. When it comes to dealing with other people, everybody has this fear of rejection. And one of the biggest things that I can tell you is being able to listen to other people that have gone through it. They'll give you the ideas you need to break through that barrier. Once you've gotten used to sign up 3 or 4 people, nothing will ever stop you. And I'm telling you, fear and lack of confidence is what paralyzes us. And I don't know why. I used to have it. It was devastating to me. And you can tell by now that I don't have that anymore. But 12 years to do what Mark and Krista did in just a couple years. A Pro 7, when they hit Pro 7. It took them a couple years. It took me 12. Not in this company, but equivalent to, because I had so many fears and so many things I had to change. But my desire to have the freedom that leveraged income gives you was greater than made me become uncomfortable so that I could get it. The fear of working for somebody else was more devastating than the fear of changing. So love you guys. Thank you so much, Krista. You're still frozen. Should I turn this back to you, Julie?
Sure. Thank you so much, Marcell. That was great. And
Am I frozen?
I love, one of the things that stands out to me that you shared was, a new distributor now knows, exactly how to get started. And I just find this so helpful because it is easier, when you enroll a distributor to help them see how to build this. And then the other thing I love about it is it helps the new distributor to earn, some money right up front, to get their return on investment, because it takes a while to build the residual income. So it's great to have them, be able to make some money right away. So I think it's
Hey, Julie, I do got to interrupt you. I just got to say one more thing.
Sure.
Are you guys listening? Okay, write this down. And you guys get registered and you bring 3 or 4 people with you. LVA. I know the speaker that's coming, and I promise you, you will be inspired. Because I know if that guy can do this, you guys are going to kill it. You do not want to miss LVA this month. And Chris is going to tell you who it is, but I'm coming to see you guys. And so let me help you inspire that next level of leadership, because the one thing you guys can know about me, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell them what they need to hear. You may be afraid to do that, but I'm not. And I'll help, and I'll do it with so much love that they'll just look at you and go, why didn't you tell me that? And then you're going to go, I've told you that 50 times, and you're going to bop them in the head. And I'm going to say, don't bop them in the head. Just say, I don't know. I must have forgot. Because sometimes people won't listen to you, but they'll listen to me. So take advantage of that. That LBA is a powerful tool for you guys. All right. Yeah, I told them that already.
Can you guys hear me, or am I still dead?
You're who? Krista?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Am I there or not?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're breaking up. Talk louder.
Yeah. So, Julie, you just take it away. I think I put all my announcements in the chat. Thank you, Marcell. We love you and we're grateful. We'll see you in Kansas City in just a couple of days.
Can't wait. I can't wait to get out there. I forgot that I'm going to be there to ruffle your feathers. And then you guys are the building depth event coming up, an MVP event in St. George. Put that on your calendar. And Krista and Julie will have those dates. It's April.
It's the first weekend.
First weekend.
Marcell, do you know who's coming to Orlando LVA?
I don't off the top of my head. I do know that information sometimes, but I wasn't in that loop this time.
I'll find out and send it in the group stuff.
Thank you.
Well, and if I find out, I'll let you know when I'm there.
Marcell, can I ask you one question?
You guys, I just told it was a 30-minute call. I got all night. You're going to find out in LVA too, that you give me a quarter, I'll give you $700 worth of information. So go ahead, ask me.
You had mentioned early in the call something to the effect that you teach them why it's so important to have a $200 subscription. And I think I understand that. And I know that the 200 gives them the 40%, but you word it in a way that you make them understand it better, because I'm coming up against a lot of people that say financially they can't do that.
Right. But I love that question. And look, I'm not putting this off. I'm going to give you like the overview, but when I'm in Kansas City, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 different scenarios. You do all of them to them, but they can do that. And the first is you take a list of our products, which you got shampoo, you've got energy drinks, which I know most people do that, but people do wash their hair. They do use skincare. They need to be on Protandim regardless, so there's no comparison there. So if you show them, ask them, well, what products do you buy over here that's like this product? And go through and make a list and take the time to go through all of them. And you'll find out that they're already buying a lot of the same products. They're just buying them from somewhere else. They may be cheaper, but we're going to show them how to redirect the money they're already spending and buy it from their own business. Because my wife bought Tide for a long time. Matter of fact, my wife is a big donor to Amazon, and never in my life has Walmart, Smith's, Sam's Club ever sent me a check at the end of the month because I bought product there, or I told other people to go there and buy product. Does that make sense? But LifeVantage sends me a check every single month because of that. So we have to teach them how to be a business owner. And then the other avenue I take is, if you could draw out a matrix in your mind of hitting Pro 4, you got to do $10,000 in volume, right?
Right.
So my numbers are off now because I had it all memorized doing a large pack. But I'm just going to use $1,000. So how many people do I need to sign up to go Pro 4 if I'm doing the platinum pack, which is gone? I got to sign up 10. Well, if I do the $200 pack, then I got to sign up 40. So I ask them, is it easier to sign up 10 or is it easier to sign up 40? And then the other thing I say too, because when people say, I hope you're following me because I'm talking fast. Here's the other thing that I tell them too. I use the word broke because usually if somebody can't afford it, that's because they don't have any money, right? So I tell them in the same breath, so you want to tell a broke person that they're going to have to work 4 times harder? They're not going to see the 40 people. But when you do the work, 3 people, you get your money back, right? You sign up 4 people, it pays for your $200 subscription. Listen, I understand that is a real life concern. That's why we, as leaders and people that are building our business, know where we're going. We need to be able to help them look at it through a different lens. See, they just see month to month, little bit of money coming out and a lot of money going, little bit of money coming in and a lot going out. And if somebody signed up 10 people every single month, they could pay their subscription and have a ton of money in the bank, probably more than what they're getting working for a week at their job or whatever. Does that make sense? So you do.
Yes,
I do have
thank
that.
you.
And when we're in person and we draw it out, you guys can take pictures. So I will need a whiteboard, you guys. But these are real concerns. Now, to me, I have a moral obligation, and I tell them, look, I'm going to tell you why you need to do this. You decide after. And then by the time I get done, you got to really be weird to not do it. I don't know, not weird, but you didn't hear anything. And there are those people that don't hear anything. I love it when people tell me I don't have the money, and then they got one of these, or they're drinking 6 Red Bulls a day or whatever. People have the money. If people have this, they have the money. Does that make sense? And don't be afraid to teach them right. Because here's the last question I ask them. And your name is Mai?
Mhm.
Yes, it's my Lissa.
Hi, Miss, my Missa.
It's my Lissa. You know who I am.
Okay. So here's the other thing that I ask them. If I didn't forget what I was going to say.
You said it was the last.
Oh, here's what it was. remember how the 40% works, right? Okay, so these are old numbers, but 40% of 1,000 is 400. 40% of 200 is what? 80 bucks. So I asked people that don't have any money, would you rather make $400 or 80? What do you think the answer is? I'd rather make 400. Then you have to do the things that generate 400. So when you're one-on-one with somebody, it's very intimate and it's a very simple conversation and it gets really good results. But I use all of those all the time. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But remember what I said? I promise you, if you sponsor enough people, you'll find 3 people that will do it. So instead of trying to get the one that doesn't want to, you focus on the 3 that do by sponsoring the 15 or 20. And you guys, I promise that's not a lot of work. It's so much fun, especially when you start getting results and things start to grow. Your whole life changes. You get one person that wants to do what you're doing, your whole life changes. And sometimes with all the old people that have been in for a while, you might have to probably go sponsor new people and that might fire them up. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. Great question, Mai. Thanks, Krista. We're going on an hour now. I hope I'm in trouble.
You're not in trouble. We're so grateful. We're just going to close, you guys. We're so grateful. And Marcell, we love you. Thank you for not just training well, but being committed to our families and our long-term success in this. I would encourage you guys to go to buildingdebt5x5.com. Get the info. You guys have heard us talk about it forever. And do not forget to be at LVA. It's going to be amazing. So get you guys registered. Marcell, thank you. Julie, I'll just let you close.
Hey, I'm gonna sign off too. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you, Marcell.
And Julie, you asked me those same questions I just got asked so that I remember to cover them. Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. See you guys in a week or so.
All right. Blessings. We love and appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. That's it for tonight. Bye-bye.